about 10 to 15 minutes since I put this ceiling on that part of the wall. So what we're going to do now is get it flattened. So first of all, I've got my internal angle trowel, which I call a twitcher. I'm just going to run that into angle all the way down, just on the wet internal angle. And I'll just do it end to end, and all that does is just removes all the excess plaster that's stuck in there. So I've cleaned the trowel off, cleaned the handboard off. That's something else I should have told you on last part of the video, but I've cleaned it off just with brush in the bucket that I was talking about for cleaning off. And all we're going to do is check this to make sure it's all alright, and just go over it. Again, I'm left-handed, so I have to go right to left. So I'll start at this point now, and just basically get all the lines out as much as possible to get it as flat as I can, and as neat as I can. And just basically bring that tram line that's on the heel side of your trowel, and just to get it all smooth, but not finished. Put a little bit of pressure on. I'm still using Marshall Town trowel, so you put a little bit of pressure on, and whatever you sweep off, you sort of put back on into the grooves, and pull back, and just make sure it's all nice and flat. And from this corner, and on the beads, just make sure there's nothing there, so the beads all filled out, it's all been put on. And just pull away from this point in the centre of your ceiling, and then try to move the trestle again. Just make sure you don't get blinded with light. Good thing about these lights is they're LEDs, so they don't get hot, so if your head's too close, you're not going to burn anything. Another point as well, always make sure you're just about high enough. You want to be like just over a palm width from ceiling to your head. You don't want to be too high that you're touching the ceiling, you don't want to be too low so you're stretching more. If you have to stretch more, it takes more of your energy, and it just sort of zaps all the energy out of you. And when you're doing it day in, day out, it can tell you what. So you'll notice the angle of the trowel is just a little bit steeper than it was when I put it on, and that's because you're putting a little bit of pressure on just to pull the plaster off to get it where I need to be into it flat. And you'll notice, obviously if you were having a go at doing this and you were using a trowel, you'd be a little bit slower than what I am, but don't worry about it, just, it's not a race. Just the most important thing is to get it as neat as you can. But over the years, with the walls that I have done, I've just learned to keep the speed up and be quicker at what I'm doing, and be quicker at plastering. So I've flattened the ceiling off, and what I should be doing on a bigger area is obviously using up the mix that I've already got, but because I'm only doing a small area, the mix that I've got in the bucket right now, I'm going to use that for the second coat. But ideally, what you need to be doing is cleaning that bucket out and mixing up some fresh, so it brings it back to life. So I definitely recommend doing that. But again, with my experience, I'm happy to use that stuff. It'll just be a little bit stiffer than what it would be if I mix a fresh batch up. So as I'm going over this reskin wall, I've noticed difference. Believe it or not, the ceiling is actually sucked in more than what this wall is. But in different areas of this wall, I can feel it has sucked in and the moisture's gone out of plaster. So it's just ready, 15 minutes, with just enough time to get it ready. But if I get it another coat, if I get it another coat of Unibond, then I probably would have had a lot more time here. If I put more water in Unibond, again I would have had a bit more time to get over it. So it's all about your timing really, and pressure of your trowel, and how you put it on, and being consistent with it. I noticed this bit is starting to peel off a little bit in the corner, and down this wall, I think that's silk, what's being painted off in that corner from the other part of the entrance. And with it being silk and plaster, very good. It just slides all over. So the best way to overcome that is to just wait a little bit longer. I'll put grooves in the plaster with a Stanley knife just to get it how you want it, to keep that bit of key. And another way, just leave it that little bit longer, just to polish. So I've flattened ceiling, flattened that wall. There's that little bit in corner there where silk is. So I'm just going to leave that a little bit until very last off before I go over it again. So I'm going to clean the trowel off now. Pick the handboard up. So my handboard's been cleaned, trowel's cleaned, back, on back it and on from. Because my handboard's been cleaned, I'm just going to slide it on. Just to smooth it round. It's been wet. It's a little bit stiffer than last time. Obviously that's because it's been setting. So I've flattened it off, and what I'm doing now is I'm doing it all a second thought. What this does is just pulls all the little slats in, all the little marks, and gives it a nice even flat finish. And it gives you a little bit more time with the suction. So I'll start in this corner, and always start again, bring your second thought where you first started, when you first put it on, if that makes sense. And just pull it all around. I'm working quickly because the stuff's setting. That one I have to mix a little bit more up because it won't take as much as what it will for the first coat. And all I'm doing is just following that tram line all the way around, and just make sure it's all flat. I'm going to put a little bit more stuff onto that part where silk is, just to let that pick up a little bit. Oops, I wedged it. And that'll help with suction and allow it to pour in a little bit more so I can pinch it. As you can see, I'm working away to this soffit seal. Doing the same way that I put the ceiling on. Put plenty on your bead edge, just to make sure that you get enough of that coating into bead for where it's needed. I'm doing that movement again with the trowel. When you're doing big ceilings, your arms absolutely you know, sit about, or if you, once it's mixed up, you're committed, you have to carry on. And just go all the way around, making sure you get a good coat on. Right, so ceiling's done. I'm going to start on this wall. Again, I'm going to do right to left, because I'm left-handed. I'll work all the way along, top off this wall, and put a nice even coat on. And I'm just going to go and follow the tram line all the way down. When you're doing a reskin wall, just make sure it's just that little bit thicker on your first coat. And always make sure your first coat on whatever wall you're doing or ceiling is always thicker than your second. But if you want a little bit more time here, when you do your first coat, just make sure you put it on just that little bit thicker and give it a little bit more time to play with it. And try and make, this time, with second coats, try and make that angle as neat as you can. But we will tick over it again. Well, rub the inside or angle trap on it. Thing is with reskins, you don't know what background you're going to get until you know, all the bit stripped off or whatever. Just like I don't know what suction's going to be like, but you're better off just preparing for the worst amount of suction and plan well ahead so you know where you're getting yourself in. So once that's all on, we're going to clean this bucket out, clean his tools off, make sure his trowel's clean. And on the next part, we're swapping trowel for Denella Super Flex, well medium flex, and you'll see the finish on it, it just makes a massive difference. So I'll come back in about 10 to 15 minutes, same again when this is pulled in, and I'll be ready to do it.